your host, Zach, with Midnight Hour, and I'm here with
Ashley.
And tonight we are going to talk to you about future endeavors.
Woot woot.
And I don't mean My Hero Academia.
You know what's funny is when we were talking about what we were going to talk about on the podcast, and we kept saying endeavors, like I thought about Endeavor from My Hero Academia too. Talk about a shitty father.
He has a redemption arc.
Does he deserve a redemption arc? That's a different podcast.
That is entirely up to the writers.
Anyway.
So, let's talk about some of the future plans for Midnight Hour.
Let's start with one thing at a time. Don't want to overwhelm them with the whole list.
Well, yeah, that's the whole purpose.
To overwhelm them?
No.
Oh.
Of the podcast. We'll talk about things one at a time.
I thought the podcast was just to talk.
No, the podcast is... Holy crap.
Nothing funnier than aggravating him.
Well, part of the podcast has multiple purposes. I think one of the most important purposes is that we're trying to bring a lot of transparency to the development of the team and Midnight Hour itself.
Yes.
So you're watching everything unfold as we started. This is just the tip of the iceberg. We just started.
There is a bit of a delay. We do film the podcast and record the podcast prior to release dates, Monday at 12 a.m. To allow time for editing and whatnot. But
yeah. On the last podcast, there was actually not a whole lot of editing done to it. Really just kept that completely fresh with just one or two cuts in it.
Mm-hmm. But the podcast before that had a bit more editing. In the comments below, let us know which one you guys prefer.
Yeah. Keep in mind, we only have one editor. Also happens to be the host of the podcast.
The podcast was your idea. It's your baby.
Hey.
Yay.
I did bring it up. I did put myself in a position.
My position is to delegate out responsibilities.
I think it's important to reach out and speak to our fan base and put ourselves out there as we get things going. Even though we don't really have a big fan base yet. So at least this stuff will be historically recorded. So
right.
You can go back and be like, oh, well, what was Midnight Hour before it took off?
Right. And to our tens of viewers, including the one in Hong Kong, we love you.
We love you. Lots of love.
Lots of love. Yeah. Also was on board with the idea once he presented it to me because, like, I've watched not tons, but a lot of paranormal shows, paranormal YouTubers, and it's always just been, here they are. They're already investigating. And it was never like a how-to or what they struggled with. And I really wanted to bring that transparency to the table as well. Because if any of our viewers want to start their own team, in their region, they'll kind of, if they struggle, they won't give up because they'll see, oh, okay, the struggle is, part of it. It's not like you can immediately jump into investing.
We want to give viewers something they can relate to, especially if they want to get involved in social media. If they want to get involved in creating content. There's a lot of content creators, and it's still a big market. It's not easy by any means. It's pretty. You'll spend a lot of time putting all your stuff together. You'll spend a lot of time learning how to edit if you don't already know how to do it. If you don't know how to do editing, start with base software. You don't have to know how to video edit to create content.
Right. A lot of apps, like TikTok, have editing built into their video recording system already.
Yeah.
So very basic editing skills to get you started if needed.
Yeah. I've done video editing off and on for years.
Yeah.
Because I've always wanted to start up my own content, but a lot of things would get in the way of it. And ultimately, I was kind of just discouraged to do it because of how long it takes to start things up. But I have a lot more support behind me on this one. I have a group to work with. And for me, that's what's going to make the difference.
Right. And that's what we do as a team. We're here to support each other. And so just as I'm pushing him to get the editing done and to stop playing Overwatch to edit videos.
Whoa. Why do you do this to me?
Did I lie?
Yes, little bit.
How did I lie?
A little bit.
When you're playing Overwatch.
I have a schedule for this stuff.
Do I know the schedule?
No.
Okay, so when I see you playing Overwatch, what do I do?
You tell me to stop playing Overwatch.
So where did I lie?
No.
So yeah, you have us here to support you.
Yeah.
We're here to push. I'm here to nag at you to edit. He does a good job. He edits on his own. His schedule changes though because of his day-to-day responsibilities. So sometimes when it should be his editing, he might have edited earlier because he had time and now he's playing game. I don't know though, so I just nag. It's like, should you be doing that or should you be editing our videos?
Look, the important part is that unlike Blizzard, we give transparency.
Unlike most corporations, we give transparency.
But we specifically brought up Overwatch, so.
True.
We want to be relatable.
Yeah. We want to be relatable. We want to be open. We want to be transparent. We want to be good. I lost my train of thought, so I'm gonna end that sentence on good.
Good. We're gonna be ourselves.
Yes.
This is
not fabricated. It is slightly edited. There's gonna be some bickering that's edited out.
I mean, even if nothing comes of it, we still didn't lose our dignity for it.
Exactly.
So, yeah, when we start doing investigations, we're gonna keep it 100% focused on the investigation of finding evidence of paranormal as well as debunking it. We're also going to provide our evidence of unexplainable happenings and allow the community that we have to weigh in on it.
Yep.
And we're going to be responsive to that community.
Yes.
So.
Yep. Our goal with our investigations, as we've said before, is not to convince you guys that there's paranormal. It's to investigate, gather evidence, and report out on that evidence.
It's also something that we actually have a shared interest in.
Yes.
So it's not something that we were like, okay, well, let's just create paranormal content because that seems to be doing it. Yeah. There's a lot of other content
the trend nowadays.
That does a lot better, especially with like Twitch and gaming communities.
Yeah.
People would rather tune into that than a paranormal YouTube channel. So.
Right. But to go a little further into our investigation as part of our future content, we'll start off there. On Saturday the 1st. We did some reconnaissance in Yorktown, Crawford Road, the history of which Will went over in a previous podcast. So that video will be coming out, but the full investigation won't be coming out until May. We're still waiting to hear back from the city of Suffolk for the Cedar Hill Cemetery.
Yeah.
We did apply for the permit. We're just checking filming dates. Hoping to hear back by tomorrow if we don't hear anything tomorrow, we'll probably reach out on Thursday. Tomorrow we got kind of a busy week ahead of us. Yes.
So a lot of our follow up and probably a lot of my video editing won't happen until the end of the week.
Yeah.
Um, and then probably for the next 2 weeks, there won't be a release on that recon that we did. And the reason for that is because it was more than just Crawford Road. Because we went to Crawford Road to look at that bridge, which I think we discussed in a previous podcast.
Yeah. Will went over it last podcast.
We got the material for it. We got a lot of pictures, some video. I believe we did take out EVP.
We haven't reviewed that yet.
We haven't reviewed it yet.
We haven't reviewed all the footage yet.
Right. We also didn't go there asking for spirits to interact with us because we were just there to observe.
Yeah. And it was just a part of the team. It was just me, Zach, and
it was
Will.
just 3 of us. It wasn't the full team. And we wanted to see if it was safe to film, if it was a good area to film.
Yeah.
We needed to know where our points were going to be as far as how we would film it, what it would look like having equipment out there, things like that.
Yeah.
But we also found out a lot more interesting things about the area that Crawford Road goes through.
Yes.
So fill us in on that.
My historical geek is going to come out. So Crawford Road, that bridge, the road that goes over Crawford Road specifically, is called Historical Tour Road. It cuts through Surrender Field, where Cornwallis surrendered to the Continentals during the Revolutionary War. Mm-hmm. It also covers the Continental Army's camps, including the various French and American brigades, including Washington's headquarters. And a little further down, it also shows where redoubts, which are earthen mounds built up where the British would sit inside to, survey the area and fight and stuff.
Yeah, so the redoubts are retreat points.
Yep.
And these are really really spectacular.
Yes.
Especially how the redoubts, because they would be on higher ground basically, and the redoubts are unflankable zones. They're not very big, but they're unflankable. What makes them unflankable is the fact that they sit on top of high ground, and so the enemy forces would be forced to go uphill to get to whatever soldiers and infantry that you have on top of or behind the redoubt. And some of them are really actually big. Yeah. And
those were reconstructed ones.
Yeah. They were reconstructed, but also they weren't reconstructed to look completely different. Yeah. So
they were just kind of built up a bit more based on their natural shape.
Yeah.
Or not natural shape because it's an unnatural, but you know what I mean.
But so the redoubts would in some cases have ditches dug out at the bottom along the base of it.
To make it even more difficult
for enemies to climb. And when enemies get to the top, as you would kill them and push them down into the ditch, it would make it even harder for other soldiers to get up. Yeah. To get up. So we learned a lot about how they fought. Yeah. Really.
During the Revolutionary War. And it was really interesting too because there's this one redoubt at the end of the trail where it's untouched, meaning they didn't recreate it. They didn't add to it to make it what it was. It's as it was originally built, but worn down over time and weather and things like that. But it was really cool. We got to actually walk on it. So.
Yeah, it was really cool. It was
super cool. And then we actually also got to walk around historic historic Yorktown. And that was really cool. There's actually a cave under the bluffs at the beach of Yorktown where the story goes that due to the constant shelling and artillery fire on the on Yorktown from the Continentals, Cornwallis, I don't know his exact. I know they call him Lord Cornwallis, but I don't remember if he's a general or not. Where he put his office in this cave as a way to like protect himself, and so we got to see that cave, and it was pretty cool.
Oh yeah, the cave is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yorktown had a lot of really awesome places.
Yes.
I mean, that part of Yorktown had really awesome places. And we already knew it was historic, but what we didn't know was that Crawford Road crossed over into that area.
Yep.
So we got more than just that Crawford Road investigation and recon. We actually got to go through a historical area where there is a church who...
yes. Thomas Nelson Jr., one of the signers of the Declarations of Independence,
is laid to rest there, along with other people from like the 1600s.
Yes, his dad, for example, Thomas Nelson Sr., his tomb was actually pretty cool because it was one of those stone tombs that are above the ground, and it had a slab on top, and it was written in Latin, and so that was really cool to see because you don't really see headstones written in Latin nowadays. It's English, so. Yep. That was pretty cool. His headstone was 16 something to 1745 was when he was buried. The senior, junior, who signed the Declaration of Independence.
Yeah.
There was some confusion there because when I first heard of Thomas Nelson, I never knew he was a junior. So when I saw Thomas Nelson and he was laid to rest 1745. I was confused because the Declaration wasn't signed until 1776. So but I figured it out. It's fine. I got it.
Yeah. So, if anything, if we can't get you in paranormal investigations, at least we can get you some really good historical information.
I shall be your teacher. No.
Along with some creepy video and photography.
Yes.
Yeah.
We'll tell the creepy side of the history.
Yeah, we'll tell the creepy side of the history.
And that kind of goes in, so we have some content as far as like pre-investigation videos coming, but that creepy stories kind of leads us into another form of new content we're going to be trying out is creepypastas in a sense.
Yeah. So the idea behind that, and I kind of pitched this idea,
he's our idea pitcher. He pitches a lot of ideas.
Everybody pitches ideas. We want to get a good content flow here. We're not here just to do paranormal investigations. We're here to dive into complete horror,
paranormal, spoopy.
Yeah. Crime.
True crime.
Yeah. Maybe. I think so.
We'll see on that.
But we want to get into those areas of content creation. And part of that is something called a creepypasta. And it's basically a fictional story designed to kind of keep a reader or a viewer, because we're going to do a lot of voiceover for it, on edge. And it basically kind of tells a story.
Typically a horror story. Yeah,
of something mysterious, something scary, something creepy, and it's there to entertain.
Yeah, and it's gonna be a mix of retelling some creepypastas, scary stories you may know or hear about, urban legends, things like that, like the Hook Man and things like that.
Yeah.
But also we're gonna try our own hand at writing some horror stories with our resident author.
Yeah. All of it's going to be made in-house. Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, not all of it, but most of it's going to be made in-house. The videos behind it, the voiceovers. But like I said, some of the stories are going to be recreated from.
Yeah, we'll get into that. But some stories will be based off of events that occurred.
Yeah.
Based off mysteries that might have been unsolved.
Right.
Things like that. So yeah, generally, but for the most part, I think it's going to be a lot of good in-house fiction.
Yes.
We want to bring as much original content as we can.
100%. We'd prefer that.
We're gonna do our own voiceovers. We're gonna have our own photography.
Yep.
Our own artwork. Our own music. Our own sound effects. Yep.
It's gonna be exciting.
Yep.
So we hope to have that starting sometime soon. We don't have a start date for a lot of this content, because there was a brief hold put on things due to Zach's grandfather passing away.
Yeah, he passed away the same day we went to go to Yorktown.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's put a little bit of a hold on a few things that we were trying to get started just because we had funeral arrangements and stuff to deal with.
We also had a grandmother that passed away a month ago too.
Yeah.
And
Jamal.
Not everyone was able to come together for that because of how quickly everything got put together, as far as the
funeral,
the viewing and the funeral. And the funeral was just really out of the way.
Yeah, it was about like 4 hours away.
So
4 hours.
We had decided ahead of time. The family had decided ahead of time to do, as well as the funeral, a celebration of life. So we'll be going to that too.
Yeah. So
that's this month.
Yeah. So funeral for the grandfather, celebration of life for the grandmother. On 2 different sides of the family too. So that's why there's been a bit of a pause on everything but the podcast. But that also brings up kind of, does it?
I don't know where you're going with that.
I don't know where I was going with that.
You want to rewind?
So we were talking about the creepypasta and original stories. I was explaining why we keep talking about future content and we haven't really pushed anything out yet. There's been some deaths in the family, so it's been a little bit of a...
it's been a little crazy.
And everybody works full-time hours doing other things, so the midnight hours, unfortunately, was put on the back burner during the family events and everything.
But we're still getting our podcasts out every week.
Exactly. But I just wanted the viewers to know, like, we're not just talking like, oh yeah, we're gonna do all this cool stuff, and then we just keep putting out the podcast. Like, no, we do promise this stuff is coming. We just there's been a few hang-ups too with the uploads. We're learning. We've never done a podcast before.
We've never created a YouTube channel before. So
right.
This has been quite the
experience.
Other
content we want to push out here soon, hopefully, are reaction videos. Reaction to other paranormal videos, whether it's, people filming random shit on TikTok that's paranormal, or posted on YouTube or something, Yeah. So if you guys have any videos that you want to see us react to watch, and not analyze, that's not the word I want. But we're not going to give our opinions on.
Yeah.
Like, oh wow, yeah, that seems creepy. I have.
Well, yeah, it's part of the reaction.
Yeah.
So like we're gonna watch it. I don't get scared easy.
I was about to say I don't get scared easy. Jump scares get me. Not all the time, but some of the time.
But the reaction videos, it's gonna be more than just reacting to something paranormal. So like, we'll do like a paranormal review or a paranormal reaction to a video, and be like, wow, that was scary, and then, yeah, I think it's fake because, or
it's real because.
It's real
so basically,
because, or it's, it's.
We're basically gonna do a real or fake, our opinion version.
Yeah, and then we're also gonna do things that were made to be scary.
Yeah.
And then just kind of react to those things.
Right.
So jump scares included.
Yes. Okay. Well, jump scares, they don't scare me, they just startle me. Okay?
That's all part of the good reaction.
I don't scream. I just jump. more active on our social media pages in the coming weeks as well. We do want to push out more content, more short form content, like TikToks or Reels on Instagram or Facebook. So that's gonna be some other things we're pushing.
One thing that we're gonna do a lot of different postings to our investigations, and there's a lot of different methods that we've talked about doing.
Yeah.
As part of our content flow, and one, we want to be able to do reconnaissance video of investigations.
Yes.
And the reconnaissance video might not be necessarily us visiting the place before we get to investigate it, but it will at least give a good description, detail, and
some historical important facts
in our interest in that area.
And why, like, what sightings have been seen, why we want to do it.
And so we want to pre-release that content before we get into the investigations. That way it gives the viewers an idea of what to expect from the investigation. It gives you guys something to get excited about.
It's kind of like a teaser trailer.
Yeah, it gives you something to look at and be like, wow, I really want to know about that detail.
Yes, I can't wait to watch the video on that.
Right. And then after we post the main video of our investigation and things that we found, we also want to post a post video.
Yep.
A post investigation video that's going to include our setups, maybe some maybe some blooper reels.
Something.
Behind the scenes.
Yeah, we're still kind of...
editor's cut type stuff.
Right, we're still working on what exactly that's going to look like. But the last thing you guys know is merch.
Oh, yeah. Merch link is going to be in the description.
Yes, and also on our website. Right now, it's just our logo and Heather's favorite catchphrase.
Yeah.
My sister Heather.
Fucking white people.
Yes. Basically, anytime you hear a spooky sound, who's going towards it? Who's going to investigate? Fucking white people. Like us. And yes, I am that fucking white person that will go towards the creepy sound or the gunshots. Yeah.
We'll keep it at creepy sounds. Creepy sounds.
Anyway, so we have merch of our very awesome logo designed by, the brains and the designer. No.
You got that backwards.
No, because I put it together.
Yeah, well, we worked on the logo and the design together.
Yeah, and I put it together. Like, I took your ideas and I made them come to life.
Right.
So, whatever that equates to, okay?
William helped with the design, too.
Yeah, William had his input, too. So this is a cup available in white and black. And we have t-shirts, hats, stickers.
Yep. We're waiting on that merch to come. It's still shipping.
To show you guys.
Yeah.
But so it's available on the website now.
So our next podcast is probably going to feature those items.
Hopefully.
We're just waiting to receive them. So
yeah.
The way the website works is when you order the material, it's printed as it's ordered. Yeah.
And sometimes there may be delays in shipping or printing due to them having to special order sizes or things like that. Yeah. So, but yeah, check it out. If you're interested, link is in the description and will be on our website, midnighthour.com. Yep. Also, if you want to send us videos to react to, you can send them to socialmedia@midnighthour.com. Email will be in the description as well. Or just leave a comment on our YouTube video.
Yep. One more thing. We are going to bring our junior investigators in on the podcast.
Yes.
So they're actually going to do their own podcast. Yep. So I'll probably come in here as the host, and then
help guide the conversation, but basically
Yep.
just sit back and look pretty while they talk.
Pretty much.
Are gonna be filming it.
We don't have a film date yet.
I'm gonna say soon.
It's gonna be soon. It's gonna be before the end of the month.
I wasn't gonna say a date.
It's coming before the end of April.
It's gonna be filmed soon and hopefully posted before the end of April.
That's what I mean.
That's what I was gonna say. Before you shut me down.
You're so snappy.
I'm not snappy. You literally were like afraid I was gonna spill international secrets or something. You were like, stop.
I wasn't.
Hush!
I didn't
it's gonna
mean
be filmed
to.
soon.
I didn't mean to.
Don't say a date.
I didn't mean to do that.
Yes, you did. It hurt me.
No. So dramatic.
I'm your wife. I'm supposed to be dramatic.
Yeah. So that's pretty much it. That closes out this chapter.
Yes. Episode 4? Wow.
Yeah. Well, not the chapter, but the episode. Anyway.
Episode 4 of our podcast.
Oh boy.
Oh yeah. Some of our reconnaissance videos, even if the junior investigators aren't going to do the actual investigation, they may come with us on the reconnaissance. So we may get sneak peeks of the junior investigators before their first spooky shift investigation.
Yep. A lot of our recon is done during the daytime.
Yep. When it's safe.
And if we can, we include some nighttime footage, but we don't stick around long at the nighttime.
No, because we're trying. The reconnaissance is strictly about reconnaissance.
Yeah, it's not about
investigating. So. Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Well.
So, get ready to get spooky.
Ooh. All right. Well, you lovely people have
a good night. Peace out.